Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another very special Harcourts Rata & Co. on-site online auction. My name is Tony Lombardi, director and auctioneer. Throughout the crowd, you will see some of my colleagues. Ladies and gentlemen, they're here to assist you with any questions that you may have in regards to the property, the documentation, and of course, most importantly, to assist you with your bidding. Contracts have been on display. I'm sure that many of you have taken your time to familiarise yourself with them. Particulars of sale are as per the contract prepared by the vendor's legal representative. Buyers, I want to quickly go over the rules and regulations that are going to assist you in bidding and buying this fantastic property here today. The auction will be conducted in accordance to the additional conditions that were made available for inspection before the start of the auction. The auction rules prohibit an auctioneer from accepting bids offers on the property after the property's been knocked down to the successful bidder. The vendors have reserved price as the auctioneer will indicate bidders on request. The law prohibits false bids, prohibits major disruptions by bidders, and prohibits bidders from attempting to prevent others from bidding, and provides fines for this conduct. The rules permit vendor bids. The words that were used during the auction indicated make on behalf of the vendor are vendor bid. By law, only I, as the auctioneer, can make a vendor bid. Buyers owe me to sell. If you're here to buy, please raise your hand, call your bid out in a nice, clear voice, use the assistance of one of my colleagues. I wish you all the very best with your bidding. We thank our vendor for selecting Harcourts Rata & Co. to sell their property. Buyers, a question of you. Where do we see a fair and reasonable place to start the bidding? Let's go shopping. What's it worth, buyers? Where do we see an opening bid? Any bid's a good bid? Happy to start wherever you like. Where do we see a start? What's it worth? Great location here in Box Hill. Where do we see that start, buyers? I know that we've got many interested parties, lots of registrations. Now this is the time to show me those intentions, ladies and gentlemen. I know you've met Mario, Alex, Louisa here throughout the campaign. Where do we see that starts? What's it worth? Happy to start at any level. Any bid's a good bid. Got to be in it to win it. Got plenty of time. A million. Good start. At $1 million the bid. At $1 million, we're off and running, ladies and gentlemen. At the rear, do we see it $1,025,000? The bid's there at $1 million. At $1 million. The bid is here, all off and running now. At $1 million, I've got 25 to get yourself on top, ladies and gentlemen. Bids here. At $1 million, the bid. First call, bids here at $1 million. Second call, bids here at $1 million. Third call, bids here at $1 million. All done, all finished, all silent. At $1 million, the bid. Done, finished, silent. Do we sell it at that? Done, finished at $1 million. First, second, third, final call at $1 million the bid. All done, all finished. 25. Welcome to the bidding, sir. Good luck to you. Same opportunity to you as well, sir. At $1,050,000. At $1,050,000 the bid. At $1,050,000 I've got now. Do we see $1,075,000 bids here at $1,050,000, sir? Lockie, please let your buyer know if there's no better bid. They're buying the property. We're on the market. We sell. Make no mistake about it. I'm selling the property right here, right now. At $1,050,000 the bid. We will sell at that at $1,050,000. First call. Don't expect me to go inside, ladies and gentlemen. We're on the market. Bids here at $1,050,000. First call at $1,050,000. 75. At 75 the bid. Round me off at 1-1. 1-1 I've got. At 1-1 the bid. At 1-1 the bid now. At 1-1 the bid. At 1-1 here. First call. At 100,000 on the million, sir. At 100 I've got now, sir. At 100. 125. 125. At 125 the bid. At 125. 150 at the rear. At 150 at the rear. We're playing with $1 million in front, ladies and gentlemen. At 150 at the rear now. At 150 the bid. At 150 the bid. First call. At 150 the bid. Second call. At 150 the bid. Third and final call. We sell. At 1,150,000. At 75. At 175 the bid. 1.2. At 1.2 at the rear. At 1.2 the bid now. 200,000, sir. At 200, I've got 25 to get yourself back on top. Bids here at 200. At 200 again, playing on 1 million on top. At 200, I've got first call. At 25, 225 the bid. At 225 the bid, round me off at 250 now. 225, I've got first call. At 225, I've got second call. At 225, 250. At 250 the bid, 275 the call, sir. At 250 the bid, first call. At 250 the bid, second call. At 250 the bid, third and final call bids here on the million. At 250, first call now. Second call now. Third and final call now. We sell, make no mistake about it. On the market and selling. Bids here at 1,250,000. First call, 1,250,000. Second call, 1,250,000. Third, sorry? 1275 at the rear. At 1275 at the rear now. At 1275 at the rear I've got now. 1275 here at 1275. 275,000, sir. The bid's here on them in. Make it nice and easy for you. Round me up at 1.3, 1.28. I'll work with you 1.28. 1.28 the bid. 280,000 the bid's here. 280. At 280 the bid. Round me off at 300. At 280 the bid, first call. At 280 the bid, second call. 85. At 285. At 285 the bid. At 285 the bid, round me off 90. At 285 I've got first call at 285. Second call at 285. Third and final call at 285. Done, finished, silent at 285 the bid. All done, all finished, all silent. 1.3 at the rear. At 1.3 now. 300,000 on the million we've got at the rear. At 300,000 the bid, first call. At 300,000 the bid, second call. At 300,000 the bid, third and final call. We sell at 300 on the million. All done, finished, silence. We sell. 2,000. 302 the bid now. At 302 the bid, Mario on the million. The bid's here at 302. At 302 I've got right-hand side out in front. At 302 the bid. On the market selling. 302, 305. At 305 the bid. At 305 the bid now. At 305. 1.32. At 320 at the rear. At 320 at the rear I've got now. At 320. At 320 on the million. Good bidding, sir. Strong bidding. At 320 at the rear now. At 320 the bid. First call. 322 I've got. At 322 now. At 322 the bid, round me off at 40. 322 the bid. At 322 the bid, first call. 322 the bid, second call. 322 the bid, third and final call. At 322, round me off at 40 the bid. 1.33. 1.33. At 1.3. That's a weird number, but I'll work with it. 1.33. At 1.33 we've got. At 1.33, 330 the bid. At 330 I've got here. At 330 the bid, first call. 2,000. At 2,000, 332. At 335. At 335 the bid. Round me off 40, sir. 335 the bid, first call. 335 the bid, second call. At 40. Yes, no, maybe. 40. 40. 40 I've got. At 40 the bid. At 41 point. What where we're at? 1.34. 1.34. That's what I thought. Yeah, I thought you said 1.4 there for a moment. 1.34. At 340 at the rear. At 340 at the rear. 2,042. 342 the bid. At 1.4. 1.4, sir. Good bidding. Bang, bang. $1.4 million. Bids here. Left-hand side. 1.4 million. Bids here. And 10 at 1.410. At 1.410 the bid, sir. At 1.410 first call. 5.15. At 4.15 I've got. At 4.15 the bid. At 4.15 now. First call at 4.15. Second call at 4.15. Third and final call at 4.15. Two on top. 4.17. Sorry? 1.42. 1.42. 1.42 I've got at the rear now at $420,000 on the million. The bid's here at 1.42. 1.425. At 425 the bid now. At 425 the bid left-hand side. Let's call it 425. Second call 425. 430 at the rear. At 430 the bid. 1.45. 1.45 the bid now. At 1.45. 450. At 450 I've got. At 460. At 460 at the rear. At 460 now. Round me off at 70, sir. 60 the bid. At 70 the call. Bids here at 1.460. Done. Finished. Silent. Yes. No. Maybe.
2,000. 462.
462 the bid. At 462 now. At 462 on the million now. Right hand side, ladies and gentlemen, bids here. At front at 462. At 462 the bid on the million. At 462. At 470. At 470 at the rear. At 470 I've got now. At 470 the bid first call. At 470 the bid I've got second. At 470 the bid I've got third. Final call at 470 now on the million bids here. 472 at 472 now. At 472 the bid, round me off at 80. 472 the bid. 475 at 475. 1.5 million dollars. Bang bang. 1.5. Good bidding, sir. At 1.5 million. At 1.5. At 1.5 the bid. Left hand side. At 1.5. First call. At 1.5. Second call. 505. 505 at 505 at the rear. $1,505,000 bids here at 505 the bid. At 505 I've got first. 1.52 at 1520 at 520 the bid. First call. 520 the bid. Second call. 520 the bid on the million. Third and final call. We sell. 5.5. 525. At 525 the bid. At 525 the bid now. 1525 the bid. Bids here. 525 the bid. First call on the million. Bids here. 525 I've got first. 525 I've got second. 525 I've got third and final call. 1.55 at 5.5 the bid. At 550 now, left hand side. 550 the bid now on the million. At 550 I've got first. At 550 I've got second. At 550 I've got third. Final call. We sell. 550 left hand side. $1,550,000 bids here to the left. We sell. All done. Finished. Silent. We sell. 553. 553 the bid. At 553 I've got now. At 553 the bid. First call at 553. At 553 the bid. On the million. Don't forget that part. At 553 we've got. At 553 first call. At 553 second call. At 553 third and final call. 1,553,000.
Add 3.
At, okay, 60. At 60 the bid. At 60 I've got.
556.
Sorry, is that 60?
556.
556. Sorry, Louisa. 556 the bid. At 556 I've got now. At 556 the bid. 556 first call. 556 I've got second call. 558 at 558 the bid. At 558 now at the rear. 558. 1,558,000 bids here. 558 I've got first. 558 I've got second. 558 I've got third. Final call. We sell. 558. Sure you're done, sir?
Yeah.
560 sounds better.
No.
1,558 the bid. The bid's here at 1,558. I'll let you have a think about it for a moment, sir. Bid's here at 558 the bid. Same opportunity. Sir, you done? Bid's here. 558 the bid. $1,558,000 we sell. Once I knock it down, I cannot accept any late bids. I want to make that very clear. At 1,558, once the hammer falls, I will not be able to accept any more bids. The bid is here at 558 the bid. I'm going to call it 3 times. First call at $1,558,000. Second call at $1,558,000. Third and final call at $1,558,000. At 2. At 1,560,000. At 560 the bid. At 560, I think you're getting a bit confused there, Louisa. 560, that's okay. Don't worry. I got the numbers. 560, it's all in here. At 560 the bid. 560 the bid's here. At 562. At 562, 1,562,000. At 1,562 the bid. 562 I've got first call. 562 I've got second call. 562 I've got third and final call. We sell at 562. Done at 562. We sell at 562. All done. Finished. Silent. We sell. Sir, just confirming. You're all done? All done? Appreciate you bidding. At 562 the bid. The bid is here, 1,562,000. Sir, just confirming 100%. 562 the bid. Another 3,000, 565. Never know your luck. You might buy a property. The bid's here at 562 the bid. Take another 3 if you like. Take one if it makes it easy. 562 the bid. 1,562,000. I'll give you a moment to think again, sir, like I did a moment ago, just to have a little breeze over it. At $1,562,000. First call at $1,562,000. Second call at $1,562,000. At $1,562,000, we sell. Take another one, sir, if it makes it easy. 1,562,000. I can see you don't want to say no, sir. The bid is here at 1,562,000. Take one. 3 would be better. Bid's here at 1,562,000. I am going to knock it down if there's no better bid, sir. $1,562,000. Another 1,000. Roll of the dice. Never know your luck. I won't sell it without your express permission to do so, sir. The bid is here at 3. At 1,563,000. I thought so. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you bidding. At 1,563,000 bids here. 1,563 the bid. At 1,536 I've got 565 the bid. At 1,565,000. Bids at the rear. 1,565. First call at 1,565. Second call at 1,565. Third and final call at $1,565,000. All done. Finished. Silence. We sell. Take one, sir. You sure? 100%. This time 1,000%. I appreciate you bidding, sir. Thank you very much for your participation. At 1,565,000, the bid's here. Sir, just to confirm again, just don't want to knock it down without you express. Yep, thank you. Appreciate you bidding. At $1,565,000, the bid's here. All done. Finished. Silent. We sell. 100%. Appreciate you bidding, sir. I just last check. We sell. Selling. 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 Sold. Congratulations. Thank you very much for your participation, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great weekend and good bidding.